Hey everybody, it's Kelly from Ready Set Drone, and today I have some aftermarket batteries. These are 1S batteries from Keenstone, and these work in the Syma X5C as well as the Cheerson C30W. Now these are 1S batteries, and we're going to check them out today and see if they're any better than the stock batteries that come with the drone. So the packet I received from Amazon included 6 batteries and this charger, which will do all 6 at one time. It's got little LEDs that light up and tell you when they're charged. They actually light up red when they're not charged, and then they go out when the battery's charged. It's a USB connector, so you can use it with any USB plug, and it was for about $21 US, which I feel like was a pretty good deal. These are the stock batteries that came with this Syma X5C. These have actually been charged on the same charger, and they are all relatively new batteries. So I'm trying to compare apples to apples here to see if these are any better. So one important thing to note between these two batteries is the Keenstones are 750 milliamp hour batteries, whereas the stock batteries, these are 650s. I've seen some that were 500 milliamp hours. The milliamp hours is basically how much it will hold. So theoretically, a 750 milliamp hour battery will actually fly longer than a 650 milliamp battery. So we're going to see about that. They're both 3.7 volt 1S batteries. They look pretty similar. They both fit in nicely, and they both have the same standard connector here on the end. So the way we're going to do this test is we're going to take the Syma X5C, and we are going to fly it several times, 4 times to be precise. One time with the old battery, the standard battery that comes with it, just in a hover mode, just to see how long it stays in the air, just hovering, and we'll time it. And then one time with another old battery that's fully charged, the original battery, and that time we'll fly kind of crazy, see how it performs, and also time how long it stays in the air. We'll do the same thing with the Keenstone batteries. We'll fly it once just in a hover and time that, and then we'll fly it once like kind of going crazy, doing flips, all that sort of thing, and time that. And then we'll take the average of the 2 times and see which one lasts longer. And also that should give me a good sense in the second flight where we're flying around a bit, give me a good sense as if there's any difference in feeling between power in the two. We use the same drone for all 4 flights, and I will let it cool down a little bit in between flights in case that's a factor in terms of the motors and stuff. This guy's in pretty good shape, should be up for the task. So let's fly and see what happens. So one other quick thing of note, you'll notice that my X5C has no landing skids, no prop guards, and no camera on it. So this is pretty bare bones, but it should give me the most flight time and also the most agility. Plus I think it's the most fun way to fly it. Okay, I got the phone here ready to start the timer, so I will set it down, start the timer, and take off. Now this is my hover test, so basically you're just going to have to sit here and see if I can hold it in one place for however long it'll stay up in the air. Good thing is it's not very windy this afternoon, so pretty easy to hold it in one place. Okay, so I'm still flying along at 5 minutes and 40 seconds into the time. Just been kind of holding it right here in this spot. I was also going to let everybody know that my plan is to just fly until the lights start blinking, which tells you you're supposed to land it. The battery's low. So I wasn't going to fly the battery all the way out, just fly it to the point at which the lights start blinking. So we'll see when that happens. 8 minutes of hovering. No blinks yet. Battery's still holding out. Remember, this is the original battery. Came with the craft, or came with one of the Symas. Oh, there it goes. 9 minutes and 37 seconds is when the lights blink and it goes down and the mosquitoes come out. 9 minutes and 37 seconds for the first hover test. So I'm going to go ahead and do the second hover test with the upgraded or aftermarket battery and see how that does. Then I'll do the flying around test. I just wrote down the 937 for the standard battery hover. Now I'm putting the Keenstone battery into the quad. Okay, we're bound. Reset the clock. Start the clock. Whoa! And I can tell you that it didn't take as much gas to jump up in the air. Now we're just doing a hover test, but I feel like I have the throttle in a lower position and I'm hovering the same amount, which makes me think this thing has a little bit more thrust. Not sure though, so we're just going to hover it for as long as it will hold out, see how that does, and then when I get to fly them both around kind of wild, we'll see how that compares. Okay, we are sitting at 8.5 minutes almost. There's 8.5 minutes right there, and yeah, it's still cooking along. Like I said, I'll fly it till the lights start to blink. Oh, there it goes, 10:47. 10:47, so 1 minute and 10 seconds longer. Okay, I just gave the drone a little chance to cool off a bit and put in the second stock battery that comes with it, and now I'm going to do a little flying around with it and see how it feels and see how long it lasts. So let's check it out. Clock's running. Alright, do a couple of flips. Coming up on 9 minutes, 8:55, and there's 9 minutes. So if flying it around does make it go down faster, it doesn't make it go down that much faster, at least based on this experiment. Oh, there it goes, 9:16. 9:16 with the stock battery flying, pretty much giving it throttle input and direction input the whole time, and 10 flips. Okay, so I've got the other Keenstone battery in, fresh one, and we're going to do the same thing, fly it around, see how that affects the battery. So our stock battery did 9:15 of flight time when we flew it around and did 10 flips. Do the same thing with the Keenstone and see what happens. So starting the clock, and clock is started, up it goes. This will also give me a chance to see how it feels in terms of responsiveness. Now I was flying in low range. I just switched over to high mode, and yeah, really it feels about the same. It does have a little more punch when you give it a lot of throttle. Like I'm going to let it just drop, and then it catches itself a little better in those situations than it did with the other battery, I think. And the flip there, it stayed pretty much at held its altitude when it flipped. Which try and flip it kind of low and see if it does the same thing. Hoping you can see that. Yeah, it feels like it's got a little more zip, and it's a little more punch, and it's especially when you not necessarily in the direction that it goes, because I suppose the accelerometers and gyros are controlling that. But when you give it throttle, it picks up. I mean, I can let it drop and then catch it right before it hits the ground. Okay, we just crossed. Well, we're about to cross over the 9-minute mark. Right there, 9 minutes, and still chugging along. And there it goes, 10:43. So there you go. There's my test of the Keenstone 1S batteries for the Syma X5C. These guys performed well. So in the hovering comparison, they did 1 minute and 10 seconds better than the stock battery at 10:47. The stock battery was 9:37 hovering time. And then flying around, they were 10:43. Didn't make much difference. Only 4 seconds shorter when I was flying around. And the stock battery was 9:15. So it was about 1.5 minutes of more flight time flying around. So of course, you know, I could do this again and again and probably get some better averages, but flying 2 batteries out I think is a pretty decent way to test it. If you're interested, I'll put a link to the Amazon page where you can buy these Keenstone batteries. Thanks for watching Ready Set Drone. If you like it, please hit the like button, and if you want to see more drone stuff, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.